Hi friends, uh, our education journey. I thought we can do a video that to learn about one of the most important person probably in the world, his chart, and see whether we can make any predictions based using the Vedic astrology. I'm going to do this in two videos, like as you can see on here. I just have the summary of what I am expecting, and then I'll do another video to explain the principles and more detail behind it. uh, Before we start, actually his Vedic astrology chart is here. I'm using this software called Junior Jyotish. This is his chart. I'm not going to explain any of this on this part of the video. um, I'm just going to explain a little bit about what is going on and what is to expect. Uh, you know, Astrology is some subject that many people do not have no idea, and they think is crazy stuff, and that kind of understanding that many people have, or witchcraft or those kind of things. But no, astrology is the highest knowledge available in this world. There is nothing beyond that, as far as I can see, because you can predict anything, absolutely anything, precisely, as long as you have the correct data set. Data set is what is important, also proper knowledge of this science, because anybody who understands this will have an enormous gratefulness towards this particular science. What is Vedic astrology? Vedic astrology is coming from India, I mean from the East. It is not the astrology, Western astrology, that we are talking about, where you see the daily things and those kind of stuff. No, this is totally different. Vedic astrology basically shows what karma we brought to this life, whether it's a good karma or bad karma, and when that karma going to ripe and fructify, and when that karma going to result. That is all. Basically, before we come to this world, we know what we expect to be, and what our limitations are, and what our karma that we are bringing, good versus bad, because whatever fructifying for this life is what we are carrying to this life. That's basically it. That's all. It shows what karma you brought and when that karma going to fructify. And so we can understand the the limitations of our life, as well as what the promise of our life is. And also, whole idea of this is to make people understand life, and after that you will always be a medium for good instead of medium for bad. Because with the understanding, you realize things happens every day is to annoy us, and because we don't understand how life totally works. So this is the whole idea of doing this. So when you understand what life is all about, you will not get angry with anybody. Also, you will never be jealous of anyone else, because what you brought is what you're going to experience, versus what someone else brought is what he's going to experience. So in that light, I'm just going to go into his chart. This is what I see his chart. On the general part, this is, I say, the karma brought to this life as natal triggers. This is basically, natal means both birth chart, right? What he brought to this life. Basically, he brought a lot of good karma to achieve his goal of becoming president of the United States. This is the highest post anywhere in this world anybody can achieve. So he carried that amount of karma that's needed. Yes, it's fructified late in life, because some of his karma wasn't fructifying until after 50. So this is why he was carrying the life towards this goal, and he, no matter what, he would have achieved this. This is his karma. This is his good karma that he brought. But no one really comes with all good karma. We also come with bad karma, because good karma is, all resulting from all good deeds, and bad karma resulting from all bad deeds, whatever, that is why it is. So he carried some good karma, which is a vast amount, because none of us can become a president of United States. It's a very selected amount of people that has become that status. So that that is why he brought the good karma. I mean, I will show what those are in the next video. And the bad karma affecting his health and his immediate family and losses. In other words, he has a load of losses in his first house of self. So, losses is not strange to him in his life. So, we know that he lost his wife and the kid and child, the daughter, and then he lost his elder son. And, and also he lost elections 1 or 2 times also. And I'm sure he has a lot of disappointments in life related to children. Also, like those kind of areas that he brought that amount of bad karma. But, the good karma is way outweigh that. That's why he became the president the vice president first and the president afterwards. And he is blessed with long life because he has Saturn in the 8th house, which blesses him with his long life. So, people always, because if you truly learn this science, you can figure out, whether you're blessed with long life or not. So that's basically what he brought. He brought a lot of good and some bad, right? And some losses in his life. So blessed with a long life. So that is a good karma also. Now when we go to this part here, now he's experiencing like 40% approval rating. That's because he's running a little bit of bad time at the moment. It is running Jupiter Rahu period. For his chart, I'm not talking about the USA chart because I'm just looking at his life alone, right? So this is why Rahu is a malefic planet. Jupiter is a good planet, benefic planet for him. And the other thing I want to teach you something is that none of the planets do nothing to us. This is just a system. Planets have absolutely nothing to do with us. This is just a system that is given to us by the divine forces to understand what life is all about and when our karma going to fructify. So if you get hangover on the planet, what the heck that the planet going to do, there is nothing like that. No planets does nothing to us. But behind these have a lot of theory behind it that we can understand what life is all about. So because he's running this period, he's having the 40% kind of thing, because Rahu is forces that unforeseen, forces that are working behind the scenes kind of situation. Like most of these things that are happening at the moment in the world is because of the war and the war resulting the oil crisis and those kind of situation. Many people do not understand why someone don't have money to buy gas, or it's because it's their karma, nothing else. One person can buy gas as much as they want and they don't feel it, and one person will feel it so much because it's their karma. Because if you are to receive, you will receive. If you are not to receive, you don't receive. But then blaming anyone else will not help. Blaming president, saying, okay, it's Mr. Biden's fault because he's not doing this or that, is absolutely not correct. You can't blame for your karma to someone else. That is a very basic principle that we need to understand. If you are to receive, you will receive. If you brought enough good karma to this world, you will receive. That is how it works. Now, that is how now situation is. He has done some good things for the less fortunate people. Since he was in the Senate for quite a long time, and he's well known to all the senators, and he got through some bipartisan things done for some of the, like infrastructure, as well as, the recent ones to do with some of the less fortunate people, which is a very good thing. Helping less fortunate is an extremely good karma. Many people do not understand that. Anyone who understands that will never block that kind of situations. So that is what's needs to be understood. So, like we have the two-party systems, and everywhere in the world it happens like that. So it's a one party opposes one party, try to do something, and that's a bad thing about it, because people don't understand how life works. If they truly understand how life works, they will always help the less fortunate people, any way possible. So that is what it is. And also I want to tell you this. If you look at my one of the predictions, I'm from Sri Lanka, but I did one of the predictions for the peak of corona cases in Sri Lanka, and I am absolutely correct to the last hour. Peak is totally correct, because because this science is like that. And also I did some research on stock market, Dow Jones and Nasdaq and S&P, and those ones, I had like 70% accuracy rate, but I didn't have all the proper data set. So I had to give up, because I have gone through 2 kidney transplants. So this is how I learned this, because from the adversity the knowledge comes, because I went through 2 kidney transplants, and that's how I learned this. And I was trying to figure out what is the reason why I am going through such a difficult time. Now what is next? Basically I want to make some predictions here. I believe these are going to come through. I would expect 80% of it at least. Looking at the November 8 elections to come, I think it is another month, less than a month time. If you look at just the Mr. Biden's chart, he has a really good transit on this day. It's showing that the God, Jupiter is God. Jupiter is the divine help to the government. Sun is the government by 88%, which is a long, slow moving one, but it's a good transit here. And also Jupiter aspecting Venus 91%. I will explain these percentages and stuff on the next video. That means there will be a lot of women voters will be helping in this particular election. Everything happens for a reason. We know that Supreme Court had this Roe versus Wade, that decision reversed. So that makes the people, particularly women, are much more motivated to vote, and that's going to happen here. That is absolutely right. And this is because of that situation. There will be good news on that day for Mr. Biden. So I expect, not big losses at all over here. It could very well be a positive situation for him, because this is what this transit shows in there. And when I look at his election date, it's so clear that he was going to win, so that is what it is. And then the 23 and 24 years will have some gains for sure, but also will face a lot of obstacles. He will have a lot of obstacles on the way that he wants to help the poor or less fortunate, or politicians are not totally honest people. So that is what truly happens. That includes him also. We are not, nobody is totally perfect. So that's what it is. So he's going to run this period, but that period owner is in the house of obstacles as well as easy gains. So there will be some gains relating to education side. That's a high possibility. So that's what it is. And then first elections will be a good news here, and then the following are not very good days in the year 2023 for him. Actually, days coming to March 18th, like few days before, from March to 18th, as well as just a little bit. 19th will be okay, and then the 20th, 21st, like that is not probably good. Same way it's here, October 4th. Days coming to October 4th, and also few days coming to December 3rd, and few days coming to December 27th. Some of these could be health related for him. So also any other situation where he's not going to be happy, not necessarily it's going to be stressful, or it could be health related. So that's what happens to this one. Now I have some dates in here that says it is unlikely to hear any very favorable news. Like, we are not some days we hear bad news. That's natural. It happens according to a plan. We always happens like that. So these are personal. It could be personal as well as related to the country as well. So you might not see in the country chart, because I'm not analyzing the country chart. I'm only analyzing his personal chart. So this is what it is. So in 22, like October 24th, November 12th, November 30th, December 22nd. You can see that I don't see much of a bad news on November 8th here, right? So that is for 2022. And then 2023, these days, sometimes because the day run, the bad time run from midday to midday, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to following day 3 o'clock kind of situation. So I had to, sometime it could be a day before, day after. And wherever possible, I put like January 1 and 2. It's not necessarily both days. It could be like half of one day and a half of another day. It's a similar situation. So if we follow up, because it's going to be hard, we may hear some news on these days, but not so favorable to him. In 2024, these days over here, and then 2024, the rest of the time. Some of these are going to be real bad news. You will hear that, and some of them are possibly not. Some of them are less intensive. Some of these are going to be intensive days also, because it's depending on how fast the planets are moving. So I could not differentiate each and every one, because this is very time consuming research to do this kind of stuff, so it takes days and days and days to do this, because it's a lot of things involved in here. And then for him is years 2028 and 2029 is not going to be very good. So he needs to be careful on those years. That's so this is important, because this is going to, many of these times when this is like a Ketu period, like people run different periods. Some periods are good, some periods are bad, because if you don't understand astrology, you will not understand it that way. But these years he's not going to run very favorable time. So that's what this is all about here. I think this is a summary of all my research in here. So I'll cover a bit about his chart, or about this, how this works, and also I can show this is what he brought to this life. This is what he brought to this life, where I put this color is negative and other colors are positive. So I'll cover this in the next video, because otherwise the video going to be way too long, and I'm sure some of them are not interested to learn this part of it. So it is not important, if you're not interested in learning how this thing works, then you don't have to worry about watching that part at all. I hope this is going to help some people at least to understand what their life is all about, and not to blame others for your own karma. It has nothing to do with any politicians that you are not happy, or anyone else that for that matter. You are not happy because either you don't understand what life is all about, or you don't have enough good karma, or you have bad karma that you're suffering for it. You're just paying for it, nothing else. So hope this is clear. If you have questions, you can write down. I'll try to answer. This is a learning journey. I have done some videos in there that you can understand, how all my predictions to date have come through totally correct. And so that is what is all about. Okay, all the best. Yeah, bye.